The Webbs are a typical couple from northern Alberta, Canada, and their love story begins like many others. Bethany, 22, and Tim Webb, 23, exchanged vows in June, and like many normal couples very much in love, they started thinking about having children. In fact, they were thrilled when they found out in September that they were expecting. "My husband definitely wanted to wait a year," Bethany told CBC News. "I was fine with whenever it ended up happening, but when we found out we were very excited, only thinking then we were having 1, not 4. The day before Christmas Eve 2015, the first time parents attended a routine scan. The first clue that something was up came when the nurse asked if the couple knew of any multiple births in either of their families. The expectant pair said no, unsure of what was coming next. It was then that the nurse delivered some unexpected and unbelievable news. During the ultrasound, Bethany said she saw the technicians looking and pointing at 2 different areas of the screen. She had therefore assumed that she was going to have twins. As Bethany recounted to Canada's Global News, she turned the screen and she started counting babies, and she counted baby 1, baby 2, baby 3. "I was thinking, okay, you can stop at baby 3. Baby 3 is enough." And she counted out the 4th baby, she said. "That's when I just about fell over." Tim added. This was clearly not the early Christmas present they were hoping for. "I definitely did go through some panic attacks," Bethany admitted. While they had originally planned to start a family slowly, all of that changed in seconds right before their eyes. In one day, their small family of 2 tripled. Realizing the full gravity of the situation, their joy and excitement was suddenly replaced with panic. That day with the ultrasound, when they counted the 4, "I actually felt quite faint and I had to ask for a seat because it was just too much all at once," Tim recalled. As there is no family history of multiple births in Bethany and Tim's families, and the couple did not use fertility drugs or in vitro fertilization to conceive their children, the news of their pregnancy is even more astounding. The doctors said it's just something that happens. It doesn't happen all the time. It's very, very rare. As of 2007, there were approximately 3,500 sets of quadruplets recorded worldwide. "I'm definitely glad I was laying down because I could not believe that there were 4 there. I thought there had to be some kind of mistake." She laughed. One of the nurses that works at the hospital said it was a 1 in 67 million occurrence, Bethany said. "I'm still waiting for it to sink in." And when the excited couple announced the news to their families, they were just as stunned. Tim's sister, Vera Webb, had her doubts. "Are you kidding? You must be kidding," she said. "Tim likes to tell jokes sometimes." No wonder, according to Dr. James Bofill of the University of Mississippi, the chance of anyone conceiving quadruplets without the aid of fertility treatment is roughly 1 in 729,000. My friends were like, "I don't know if I should say congratulations, or I'm sorry," Tim laughed. Bethany confessed that while she was excited for the babies, the notion of how much they would need to care for them is overwhelming. After all, 4 times the love means 4 times the cost. "I realized that we didn't have a vehicle that could support 4 babies, Bethany said. "We were good until that 4 number kicked in, then we weren't prepared at all," Tim added. The soon-to-be parents of 4 were planning on staying in their 1-bedroom apartment after having their first baby, but since learning they were to become a family of 6 they have had to consider other options, including moving in with Tim's mother. Going from 1 to 4 is like 4 times everything. 4 strollers, 4 car seats, 4 cribs. Diapers. Diapers everywhere, Bethany lamented. Diapers and formula, that's probably going to be the most expensive part for us right now. The Webbs calculated that they would need approximately 48 diapers a day now once their daughters arrive. So whose responsibility will it be to change all those bottoms? Hers. Tim exclaimed. "I have a weak stomach. I can't change diapers." It may seriously take a village to raise a child, or in this case, 4 villages. Knowing this, friends and family sprang into action. To help with ongoing expenses, they've set up a GoFundMe page for the family. The couple's hometown of Hythe has also rallied around and held fundraising events. The hospital in nearby Grand Prairie held a diaper drive to help with the stockpiling, and some brave community members have even offered to babysit. There are people around the area making little hats, getting diapers ready, and making bracelets, Bethany told My Grand Prairie Now, a news website. "It's really amazing, because there would be no way we could do this by ourselves," said Bethany. Aside from having to quadruple their preparations for the new arrivals, however, the pregnancy itself was going well. Considering that the Webbs are from the village of Hythe though, which isn't equipped with a large hospital, doctors had advised that she be transferred to the state-of-the-art Royal Alexandra Hospital in Edmonton, Alberta. "I'm excited, but it is weird when they start moving. Sometimes I'll feel more than one move at once and it kind of takes me by surprise. Even being 27 weeks pregnant, I don't think it's sunk in that there's 4 there yet," said the happy mother-to-be. The doctors couldn't let her go full term as it could jeopardize the baby's health. To avoid complications, she would need a C-section at the 33-week mark. "I'm definitely nervous about the birth, but I'm also really excited to see them," she said. During that time, moreover, the Webbs got some more news. Tim was going to be seriously outnumbered, because all 4 of their babies were female. Living with 5 girls. Yikes. "I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be overwhelming, being the last man standing." But then, on Friday, May 6th, as each of the girls arrived and were lined up next to each other, everyone was stunned. Just in time for Mother's Day, and only weeks before their very first wedding anniversary, the Webbs became an instant family. This was an anniversary gift that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. Tim told Global News, "It was kind of like a magic show, because they're pulling out 1, 2, 3, 4. It was kind of surreal. Yet the true magic didn't become apparent until the girls were laid side by side. What the doctor told the Webbs next changed the odds of this pregnancy from 1 in 15 million to something even more impossible. If the odds of naturally conceiving quadruplets are small, then the likelihood of the Webbs' new discovery was nigh on miraculous. Because incredibly, and by a chance of 1 in over 15 million, the 4 newborn girls were all identical. It only took about an hour to deliver the babies, who ranged in weight from 3 pounds to 4 pounds 1 ounce. With the high-risk nature of the pregnancy, there was always talk that there was some risk of delivering very early, said Dr. Billy Wong, the couple's obstetrician. For us to get to this state in the pregnancy, almost 33 weeks, we were actually very fortunate. The Webbs say they're an extensive support system back in Hythe, where everyone is waiting for the new family to arrive home. The relieved dad said, according to the Edmonton Journal, "I feel overwhelmingly awesome that the babies are here. I feel blessed. Relieved, too, because you worry with multiple births. There's risks. But all of it was perfect." Once the magic show ended, of course, the couple had to name their new arrivals, and they chose the names Emily, Grace, Michaela and Abigail for their little girls. And while multiple births might mean less sleep and more diapers, there is, at least, one big advantage when it comes to choosing names. "It was nice that we didn't have to pick our favorites," Bethany told Global News. "We could pick 4 we liked. We didn't have to choose just one." And the naming, it seems, proved a lot easier than actually telling the girls apart. That said, immediately after the birth each girl was placed in her own tiny incubator, making it a little easier to differentiate one quadruplet from the others. Distinguishing the girls from one another outside the incubators, however, proved slightly more problematic. Speaking to CTV News, Bethany revealed, "Right now I'm glad they're separated so we can tell them apart. But even just holding two side by side, I can't tell them apart at all." New mom Bethany, however, also divulged to CTV News that their individual personalities couldn't be more different, and in time that will most certainly help to tell them apart. She described Emily and Michaela as chilled out, and Abigail, the smallest of the four despite being the eldest, as feisty. Grace, meanwhile, is kind of a character. And yet the couple does have a solid plan in place to help them differentiate between each girl now that they're home. Bethany and Tim will color code each one with hair accessories and bracelets, and they've even considered painting their toenails to tell each one apart. Undeniably, there's a lot for the new parents to adjust to, as the pair have had to move in with Tim's mom for a helping hand. They even have the 820-strong population of Hythe, Alberta, their hometown, behind them, too. As Tim told the National Post, the community held a fundraiser which brought in approximately $50,000, and there's a GoFundMe site set up by friends. The couple have been so overwhelmed with the generosity of the community, in fact, that they've even had to turn to a local church in order to house all the gifts. Bethany said Tim was ecstatic about becoming a dad but still needed to get used to the idea of being the only man in a house of 5 females. "I think my husband has gotten used to the idea that there are 4 babies, but I don't think he's gotten used to the idea that there are 4 identical girls," the mum-to-be laughed. "As for the dad-to-be, I think of them as blessings really. I'll probably be pulling my hair out a year from now, but now I'm excited." Raising quadruplets is a daunting challenge, but the Webbs are still more than willing to take it on. No doubt the girls will have fun swapping places and playing tricks on friends and teachers in years to come. But for now their parents are still trying to work out how they are going to tell the 4 identical newborns apart. Proud dad Tim told Global News, "I'm looking forward to the memories and how close they'll all be." Bethany, meanwhile, concluded, "It's going to be crazy the first few years. But, it'll be very exciting." Bethany Webb was a bundle of nerves one evening in early June. That's because the next morning, her 2-month-old identical quadruplet girls would have their very first photo shoot. "I was nervous that they wouldn't sleep and they'd be awake the whole time or crying and fussy," Webb, who lives in Alberta, Canada, tells Us Weekly. "But they did so good." The project took much more planning and assistance than photographer Cassandra Jones was used to. 5 extra people helped her set up the shoot, 1 person per baby and 1 person to help arrange the flowers and props. It took 3 large vehicles to haul all the items needed to the outdoor location in Grand Prairie. Obviously, feeding, changing and caring for 4 babies is an incredible task, but photographing them so perfectly wasn't easy either. Photographer Cassandra Jones was blown away by the infants. "There were absolutely no tears," she told Today Parents. "In fact, they didn't even raise an eyelid. They slept like little angels for the entire shoot." The girls' knit hats and wraps were custom-made specifically for the shoot. Jones chose white outfits so that she could coordinate all of the different hats without having to change the babies and risk waking them up, she said. Meanwhile, the tiny sisters are already confounding adults. They may be just 2 months old, but sisters Abigail, Michaela, Grace and Emily Webb have already managed to steal the hearts of thousands. The photos from the shoot have since gone viral with more than 5,000 likes. Jones admits she and her assistants did struggle to tell the girls apart, however. "The pictures she took are absolutely beautiful and I love them so much," Bethany smiled. Since the girls are identical, the parents came up with a solution to help them identify their daughters. Each baby has her toenails painted a different color than her sisters. As for a more permanent solution, Mom Bethany revealed that they recently had the girls' ears pierced, and each wears a different color of stone, purple for Emily, red for Grace, blue for Abigail, and pink for Michaela. Thank you for watching this. Please subscribe for future releases.